This should be refuah shlema for Oriel ben Gabriel.
From Alona Rava.
So for Alon, Yehuda, Yosef, and Chana Miriam.
Because I used to come here, Yaakov, and Sarah.
Okay, Yaakov ben Sarah.
I don't remember.
For Abraham ben Sarah Esther, for Yosef ben Shulamit, for David Yisrael ben Shoshana. It should be an Aliyah of the Neshama for Eliza Batzara. And I'm talking to a lot of people today. What's that? Chana Bat Tamar.
And for the success of everybody at this table.
It should be Matzliach, everybody at the table, everybody who's watching. All Kol Yisrael. And there's a lot of people who are struggling out there. There's a lot of people who are struggling with their faith, with their trust. I think we're getting very, 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 very close to the end. I'm having a lot of deep perceptions recently. I know some other guys at the table are. I know the rabbis have been speaking about this for like 2,000 years. But like I'm really hoping it's coming soon.
This isn't even real.
And
Thank you.
I don't know. There's Mashiach. We all need a lot of help. So B'ezrat Hashem, this Torah learning should be what everybody needs. Okay. Also, remember the practice that I told you guys. Before you come into the class, you should say to Hashem, help me to hear exactly what I need to come closer to you in the class. These prayers create the vessel so that you can have the thing that you need, exactly what you need. You can get the thing or you can hear the thing and it can do nothing for you. Sometimes it penetrates your very being. What's the difference? Usually it's because beforehand you asked. So you need the words of the vessels, okay? So everybody take a few seconds right now. I'll do it with you.
No, not that one.
Okay. This is Torah, Yud Aleph. This is 11. We're going back. Okay, we start with the pasuk. Ani Hashem. I am Hashem.
Interesting.
Hu Shemi. That's my name. Uchvodi la'acher lo aten. My kavod I shall not give to anybody else. Utehilati la'psilim. And nor my tehillah, my praise, to idols. Okay. This is from Yeshaya. So now,
43?
This is 11. Oh, from Yeshaya, 42. Very close.
He's the guy.
You know your nach. Now you got to learn nach. And then you'll really know nach. Okay, ready? Ki yesh yichuda ila'a v'yichuda tata'a. There is an upper unity and there is a lower unity. Hayenu, meaning Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. This is an upper unity. Uvaruch Shem Kavod Malchut Olam Va'ed. This is the lower unity, says the Zohar. Okay? An upper and a lower unity. What does upper usually mean when it comes to the Torah, Chassidut, Kabbalah? Upper means it's transcendent. It transcends. Upper always means it's above, meaning it's out of reach. It's something that is influencing everything in existence, but it's not something that you can feel. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Everything is one. We know it, we believe it, but we're not feeling it. Okay? Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. That Hashem's hashgacha, His providence, is what's controlling everything in the world. This is what we're working on feeling. And through that we come to the higher one. Okay? So these are two unities. So now let's hear what it says. B'chol echad miYisrael, every single Jewish person, tzarich, he needs to, shi'eh na'aseh zot al yado. He needs to make certain that he's bringing about these unities Kol Hazman, all the time. This upper unity and this lower unity. Ayedeze, and through this, shechol lavo litvunat Torah la'amka. Through this, you're going to come to very, very deep perceptions of Torah. Okay. So seemingly, what we have so far, there's some type of unity which I'm supposed to be creating. This unity is going to allow me to internalize very, very deep Torah. And we know that Torah is the gate to peace. And that Torah is the gate to faith. right? So we see that before you can have Torah, though, there needs to be some type of unity. So now we need to understand, what is a yichud? What is a yichud?
I'm sorry.
What is a yichud?
Being alone. Somebody knows.
To be alone with somebody. What does it mean when the Baal Shem Tov said he was making yichudim?
Yichud with Hashem.
What is that? Okay.
No, he's a deep guy. It's pretty simple.
Individuals. So, and on top of that, according to the Yalkut Yosef, according to Rav Vadi Yosef, who is not a Mekubal, it could be, and it's definitely a discussion, whether or not you're even Yotze mitzvah if you don't say L'Shem Yichud before. L'Shem Yichud Kucha Brichut Shechinte B'chilur Chimur Chimur Chilur Chadash Shem Yud Hei B'Vav Hei Yechudash Shalim B'Shem Kol Yisrael. Hashem, I want to make a unity in your name between the Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey, and that this unity should then manifest for all of Israel. And then you say this, and then you do every mitzvah. So why is it so important to say such a statement before you make a mitzvah? That it could be that if you don't even do this, you may not even be yotz the mitzvah. You may not even have the benefit of the mitzvah if you don't l'shem yichud. So what is this l'shem yichud? What are these yichudim? Okay. So a yichud, when it comes to Kabbalah, when it comes to Chassidut, is to make a unity of the letters of Hashem's name, or to make a unity of Hashem's names. Okay? There are certain people, Sephardic Mekupalim, certain people actually pray at Beit Gabriel, that when they do a mitzvah, they will sit for an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes just looking at and creating in their mind different names of Hashem, combining them with other names. Okay? For us, this seems like very out of reach, right? And something that's not nogeya to us. However, this is a very real thing. This is a very, very real thing. What happens is like this. Whenever something takes place in this world, there's first a unity within Hashem's name, or a unity within Hashem's names, or a lack of unity within those names. And that is what causes blessing, or the opposite, to come into the world. Constantly, back and forth. In fact, the Zohar says that the Torah, it used to be that you didn't have spaces like we do now.
One long name of God.
So the Zohar says it really is one long name of Hashem. What? The whole Torah. And it's the names of Hashem. The whole Torah is the names of Hashem. All the names of Hashem. So it says that these names of Hashem, what do? They draw down divine energy and influence into the world. And the knowledge of Torah and the performance of mitzvot is what allows us to create these yichudim. So that's why we say L'Shem Yichud before we do the mitzvah. Because the mitzvah itself is what creates the unity. When you put on tefillin, when you talk to Hashem, when you eat kosher, and you make a bracha on food, L'Shem Yichud. These L'Shem Yichud, because the Torah learning and the mitzvot, they actually create these unities. Okay? Presently in our world, the Arizal explains that there's two main unities, and they're not together right now. There are the first two letters of Hashem's name, and there are the last two letters of Hashem's name, the Yud K and the Vav K. The Yud K represents the upper unity, which is Hashem transcending this world. He's above this world. Okay? And then there is Vav He. Vav He is Hashem's imminent presence in this world. The Shekhinah. Yeah, here with us that we can experience. That's the Vav He.
Transcendent.
The transcendent and the imminent. Okay? Transcending above, outside of, hidden, imminent, revealed, with us we experience it. And the truth is, they're all one. It's all one. Hashem Echad. However, in this world, because of our Averot, because we're not in the land of Israel, because we don't have Beit HaMikdash, so because of this, there is, so to speak, a breakage between these letters. And it's our job to unify these letters back again. And this is the reason why we say in Aleinu 3 times a day that when Hashem is one, and His name will be one on that day, when Mashiach comes, in the redemption, the Geula. What does that mean when Hashem will be one and His name will be one? So it means when the upper unity and the lower unity become one unity. When they become one. Yud K Vav K represents the transcendent unity, and His name represents the imminent unity, right? Yud Kei Vav Kei is hidden. We're not allowed to say that name. But whenever you want to connect to someone, to come close to them, right? When somebody comes by, you don't say, you say Shachar. You say Daniel. Why? Because your name is a revelation of you. If you're not around anybody else, you don't even need a name. But you need a name to reveal yourself. So Hashem's name is what reveals. So what we're praying for is that Hashem will be one and His name will be one. It's all going to be one. Okay.
So the name is the essence of something?
The name is a revelation of the essence of something. It's a revelation. Like in the Torah, sometimes it says, and this person made a name for himself. Like we say this even now. He made a name for himself. What did it mean? It means that he revealed who he was. And now he has kavod from others, or respect, or people understand who he is now. Whatever. He made a name. That's where it comes from.
It has to be someone who, like, he has something significant to reveal about himself.
Yeah, and we all do. We all do. So we all have a name to reveal.
Yeah, probably not considered every Jew can be a tzaddik.
Yes. Yes. It's incumbent upon us to be. Not just that we can be, but we have to be. We have to try and be.
We just have to be rich.
Okay.
We have to put the two unities together in order for Mashiach to come.
Mashiach's gonna, when he comes, they're gonna come together fully. But it's our job to work until that happens. Okay.
When the second half?
Wait. Just wait. Okay. Now, why are we concerned with these unifications? This seems like above our pay grade a little bit. Why do we care if the letters of Hashem's name are coming together? All of these things. Okay. So now I want to tell you something amazing, which I happened to be learning right before I started learning this Torah. And then I started learning this Torah. I'm like, wow, Hashem gave me such a gift. The Ramchal, everybody here has seen Mesilat Yesharim, right? You may not have read the whole thing, but it is the most studied, most heavily regarded, highly regarded book of Musar that exists in the world. The Vilna Gaon, right, who some people think was like Mashiach ben Yosef, he said that if the Ramchal was still alive when he was alive, he would have walked from Vilna to Italy just to kiss his feet.
How far is that distance?
Very far. It's Eastern Europe to Italy. It's far. To walk that is very far. And then to do it just to kiss somebody's feet is even further. Makes the distance even more.
Imagine stinky.
Okay. Why would he saying that? He said that the Ramchal, he's the first person he ever saw that made a book that it's exactly what needs to be said, not one letter more, not one letter less, and you don't need like another book from Musar. You're good. You just keep learning this every day. But he actually has many books, and there's another book that's a very powerful book. It's actually the first thing I taught in this class before you guys were ever in the class. It's called Da'at Tevunot. It means the knowing heart. Okay. Now in there, it's a very interesting book. Because what does he do? He has a conversation between a neshama and his seichel. Between a person's lower soul and his higher soul. And the whole book is a conversation between a person's lower and higher soul. It's very interesting. Anyway, there he explains like this. Hashem created this entire world, everything in it, from the beginning until the end, in order to reveal one thing about himself. Which means what? He's saying that 99.9% of Hashem we're never going to know. There's only one thing that he actually wanted to reveal, and the whole world and everything we're busy with is just so we can experience this one quality. Okay. So with that being said, we have a little bit of an issue. Because elsewhere, the Ramchal is very famous for saying that Hashem created the world only in order to give all of His good to creation. So, but you're saying over here that you only want to reveal one little drop in your ocean, and somewhere else you're saying that you want to give the most intense level of pleasure, of good that has ever existed for in Olam Haba to the Jewish people forever. So which one is it? Are you giving us this little tiny sweat that fell off your eyebrow? Or you're giving us mamish things that we've never seen before, the greatest thing in the world? So the answer is Gavaldik. It says like this. That little thing that Hashem wants to reveal to us and is spending 6,000 years teaching us, and ultimately that Mashiach will reveal to us and what we're going to be enjoying forever, is actually only one aspect of Hashem. One little aspect of Hashem that's called His unity. His unity. So that means that everything that takes place from the beginning until the end of creation is only to reveal Hashem's unity. And what we're going to be enjoying in Olam Haba, that they say that the Tanug there is something that you couldn't even imagine, the ecstasy that you're going to experience at every moment, much better than the ecstasy that they take in Europe when they go to the clubs, is only from, at every moment, experience greater and greater revelations of Hashem's unity. His unity, that's it. That means that there's a billion things that we don't know about Hashem, we're never going to know about Hashem, just His unity. It's very interesting.
We'll know when we're in Olam Haba.
No, you're just going to know His unity. That's it. That's the one thing He has prepared for us, and this is the ultimate good, and is going to be your good forever. It's an amazing thing. So obviously we see here, unity is very important. According to the Ramchal, it's the whole essence of existence. Okay. Now, when we say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, now we can understand why is this so essential. Why is this the pivotal thing that the first thing you learn as a little kid, it's the last thing you say before you pass away. We say it twice a day. You have to say at least twice a day. You may say it more than that. Right? Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. What are you saying? Hashem is one. What we're doing is we're alluding to what we're going to be able to experience in the future now because we believe in that unity even when we don't see it. When did this whole thing happen? When Yaakov, who trained his 12 tzaddikim, his 12 children, said to them, taught them their whole life. And right before he passed away, they said to Jacob, Shema Yisrael, listen Israel, talking to their father, his name was Israel. Listen Israel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem is our God, Hashem is one. Meaning you taught us good, we understand. Everything is about Hashem's unity. Everything from the beginning to the end. Yosef's sale, our mistake, our trying to sell him into slavery, all of the things that he went to, our famine, our drought, you losing your child, Benjamin, all of these things, Hashem Echad. We understand, Hashem Echad. And what does Yaakov respond? Baruch Shem Kibur Malchut Olam Va'ed. That I realize now that what was hidden and only in my grasp is now revealed in the world through my children. And this is our mission in this world, is to teach the world about the unity of Hashem. Okay? And now we have a deep understanding of the fact that it says in Masechet Pesachim, it established that nobody experienced the level of the 10 martyrs, like Rabbi Akiva and all of his, right, Hasidim that he was learning with, right? Nobody ever experienced what they experienced, their level of Mesirat Nefesh. So what do we learn in a prior Torah? What happens when a person engages in Mesirat Nefesh? What is that an expression of? Yeah, what is that? We did a whole Torah. What is Mesirat Nefesh?
Sacrificing yourself to do good.
It's a revelation of peace. Because we said that what is Shalom? Peace is two complete extreme opposites coming together. Kiddush Hashem is, I love Hashem so much, I want to experience Hashem so much, I'm taking my life for it. That's complete opposites. You're not going to experience Hashem. You're going to kill yourself. But you want to so bad, so bad, so bad, and yet I'm saying no because Hashem says no. So these are two complete opposites coming together, and we said that when two complete opposites come together in unity, it creates shalom. And peace is what allows for all your prayers to get answered, because peace is the gate to blessing. There is no vessel which holds blessing except for peace. So now we can understand something very deep, which is this. What they were doing when they died, Kiddush Hashem, when they did this Mesirat Nefesh, they created the greatest yichud that ever was. The greatest unity. You understand why? Because unity is shalom. Unity is peace. So when we are trying to create yichudim, why are we doing this? Because we want to create shalom, because shalom is the vessel that holds blessing. So now like this. Through that shalom, through that peace, through that unity, now I can achieve Torah understanding, deep Torah understanding. Where do we see this? The first time we received the Torah. What does it say about the Jewish people before we received the Torah?
They prepared.
Lem echad. Their heart was one, and they were one. So what does Rashi say? One man of one heart. They were completely united, and then they received the deepest revelation of God called the Torah. So you see that there needs to be a state of complete unity before Hashem can reveal Himself, because Hashem is unity. Therefore, if it's diverse, if it's divergent, if there is duplicity, if there is separation, Hashem can't reveal Himself in that place because He's one. So how is something that's one going to reveal itself in something that's separate?
After we receive the Torah.
One second before we get there. Okay? So now listen to what he says. Ki mi shehu madrega b'chuta. When a person is on a low spiritual level, he's not holding by much emunah, right? He's not holding in this place that he mamish believes in Hashem, everything is from Hashem, I trust in Hashem, I'm not worried, I'm happy all the time, right? I'm talking to Hashem for an hour a day. He's on a lower spiritual level than that. He still has not come to deep Torah understanding, right? Rak ayadei emtsaut adibur. Only through speech is he going to be able to come through very deep understanding and perceptions of Torah. Meaning what? Not just speaking. By speaking words of Torah, he is going to come to a deep understanding of Torah.
Does that mean speaking your Torah learning?
Oh! Did we ever learn that before? Did we ever hear such a concept?
You said it multiple times.
I didn't say anything.
Rabbi Nachman said it.
Rabbi Nachman Neumann taught Rav Natan, which he spent a whole lifetime doing and creating books with, taking all of Torah and saying it over. We learned in other Torahs why this is so effective, that there were so many hidden nuggets in that piece of advice, and now we have another one. Why? Because the only way Rav Nachman says you ever come to deep perception of God in any piece of Torah is only by saying that Torah over, by speaking it out loud. We said elsewhere, halachically, you may not even be yotze the mitzvah of learning Torah, right, if you don't speak. Why is that?
Because isn't Torah about applying it? And therefore, when a person speaks, he's applying it.
Okay, so maybe.
Kivatat says that if you learn something and you say it too quickly, you'll spit it out.
Okay. So listen to what Rav Nachman says. Speech has, this is his literal words. He says, speech has tremendous power. Speak many words of Torah, recite many prayers, and make all kinds of appeals and entreaties to God. And more than anything else, talk to Hashem in your own language. If you are determined and you make a practice of this every day of your life, you will certainly attain the ultimate good both in this world and in the world to come.
What's the ultimate good?
The ultimate good is Hashem's unity. Perception of Hashem's oneness. Perception of your oneness with Hashem. So what is the speech that Rav Nachman is specifically referring to, though? It's words of Torah. Words of Torah.
If it's not Torah, it's not good speech.
Kamos shekatuv. Like it says, Ki chayim hem lemotzehem. It says in Mishlei, for they are life to those who find them. But the word lemotzehem can also be read according to the Gemara Masechet Eruvin, to those who express them verbally. Find and also expressing verbally is the same word with different. So he's saying, who is the one who the Torah is life for? Only for the one who verbalizes it. This is the Gemara. The Gemara says it. This is what Rav Nachman says all the time, right?
Specified and it's
You have to say it.
So what is it saying when it says diburim?
So he's saying it's
Torah b'diburim. Daber b'Torah.
when he's speaking words of Torah. No. Like what we're doing right now, this is speaking words of Torah. When you go to Duhi Bodadut and you take what we learn and you pray to experience it, that's exactly what he's talking about.
Didn't we learn over there that Abraham, when he, not just Abraham, in any case, a person sees something and he specifies it's mine, I saw it. Because he specified it becomes his now, as opposed to just looking at it. Because he specified it became his now.
So here we're gonna start to look at why it works this way, okay? We have the 10 sefirot, right? We all know this. Now Torah, and specifically the higher levels of Torah. He's saying deep Torah understanding. What is deep Torah? What is tevunot? It's Bina.
Binyamin.
When we refer to tevunot, we're referring to bina.
Isn't it straw?
Bina. Ooh, this is going to come up in the Torah. Tevunot actually means understandings. Okay, understandings. It also is similar to the word for straw, which is going to come up in the Torah. Okay, so it says like this. We have, let's say, 4 main spheres. Okay, we have Chokhmah, we have Bina, we have Zer Anpin.
Zer Anpin is
Zer Anpin is all the 6 below it. And then we have Nukva. The truth is that these are the 4 letters of Hashem's name. And when we were saying before that there is no unity between the top 2 and the lower 2, it means that Chokhmah and Bina are not being able to be experienced in this world because their children, Zah and Nukva, are not hanging out together. Okay? When you do mitzvot and when you learn Torah, you're bringing these 2 together, and when their kids come together, the parents come together. Then there's a unity, okay? Yes, Liz L'Shem. You're actually trying to put together all of these so that blessing comes down. Now, one second. Bina is the deep Torah perception. So what is he saying? Unless you have unity, you can't come to these deep Torah perceptions. Okay? So now like this. Why is it that when you speak it though, you're able to? Zer Anpin, a code word for Zer Anpin is Torah. Whenever you see the word Torah, it's a code word for Zer Anpin. These 6 spheres. Okay? A code word for speech, Tefillah, is Nukva. Speech. So one second. So therefore, when you speak words of Torah, you're making a unity between Zer Anpin and Nukva, and then you're drawing down Bina, which are deep perceptions of Torah. This is the reason why people do Hibodadu for an hour a day. You'll hear them, even if they're learning all day, they'll tell you they got their deepest perceptions of Torah from Hibodadu.
Because it's not even.
What's called?
So Chokhmah is actually the root of those deep perceptions, but because it's so close to Hashem, we can't experience it as it is. We need to experience it through the lens of Bina. So really what you're experiencing in Bina, those deep perceptions, is Chokhmah. Okay. So therefore, when Rav Nachman says, turn your Torah into Tefillah, he's really saying you make a unity between Nukva and Zer Anpin.
Okay. Why didn't you just say that then?
Because what are you going to do with that? Okay. So I'm just teaching you the depths of it. There's many things that are going on when he says to do this. Then what? Okay. Then what happens is you draw down Bina, which is the level of deep Torah. Okay. I wanted to tell you something. Yes. So I've spoken to you guys about there's a certain rabbi. He's a Baal Tshuva, and he's now a Hasidic rabbi in Israel. His name is Rav Daniel Katz. Okay, so I spent a lot of time with him in Uman. He happened to be there and staying in the hotel, and I got to speak to him a lot, which was very, very beneficial. And he's a big chassid of the Baal Shem Tov, and he's very, very, very fluent to Rav Nachman's Torah, along with a lot of the Hasidic masters. And he says it's very clear that Rav Nachman's Torah is not normal because it wasn't coming from linear thinking. It came from hasagas. That's what he called it. Hasagas.
What's that?
Hasaga is a deep perception that you're attaining, like in a state of complete nullification. Meaning, you ever like
the prophets, except for Moshe Rabbeinu, all the prophets experienced God either in a trance-like state or in a dream.
Yeah.
So, that was the only way they could have this perception of God.
Yeah.
So, his Bodhidot is like a trance, right?
That's right.
So, does that make sense that a person can... I don't only experience Torah, because I don't really have a lot of Torah, but I have novel insights into my Parnassa or what have you.
Yeah.
Things like that. That happens much more frequently.
So that's called Torah also. It's also called Torah.
Okay.
It's also called Torah. So yeah. So when you do Hibodedut, So he's pretty much insinuating that Rav Nachman just like these things just kind
You
of
say it's not linear?
yeah, they're not linear. It's not linear thinking. It's not like I studied for a test and I now I'm putting my thoughts together into. It's like a stream of consciousness.
Not a stream of consciousness.
No, it is a stream of consciousness.
His stream of consciousness.
Yes, it was Rav Nachman's stream of consciousness, like just put out on paper.
Your brain on the paper.
Meaning it's not normal to come up with Torahs like this. That's what he was saying. This isn't like a normal Torah lesson. These aren't normal Torah lessons. These are clearly like things that he received like in meditative states and then drew them down. Whatever. And he makes reference to this, right? Because he keeps saying da, you should know. And he said that those things come from Atzilut. And we know in the Hasidic teachings you don't get Torah from Atzilut unless you're completely nullified. And how you get nullified, Rav Nachman says you can only do what you're supposed to do. So whatever. Anyway, you get very, very, very deep perceptions. So 1 second. So therefore, but Malchut, Nukva, is speech. Speech is the revelation of Chochmah.
You will be allowed to do this trick.
Speech is the final revelation of everything that comes before it.
The beginning is the end.
Yeah. So therefore, how do you take what's in potential in the beginning, which is the Chochmah, and how do you bring it into reality? Only by speech. Only by speech. Speech is the revealer. Speech is the revealer. So therefore, when you take Torah and you speak it, so to speak, what you're doing is. So try to follow me for a second. The Zohar says that Hashem, the Torah, and Klal Yisrael were all one. Chad. What does it mean that the Torah and Hashem are one? So the Tanya explains based on the Rambam. The Rambam says Hashem's knowledge is different than our knowledge. Why? Because our knowledge is separate from us, right? Somebody could take away your knowledge at this moment, but you're still you. But the Rambam explains that Hashem is the knower, the knowing, and the knowledge.
So he is. He was.
He is his knowledge.
Oh, so it's like Yud K Vav K. You know, like,
Yes. He is his knowledge. Okay? So why does that matter? Because the Torah is his knowledge. So that means mamish, the Torah is Hashem. So that is a very high, intense level of light, which is only existing in potential. Yud K Vav K. Za. Okay? The only way to draw potential into reality is through speech. So therefore, when you speak out words of Torah, that is how you reveal God in your life, because God is the Torah. And the more that you speak out words of Torah, the more God becomes revealed to you, and the stronger your emunah becomes. That's why this hour of Ibodedut helps so much, because the majority of it should be taking the Torah that you learn and turning it into Tefillah, and through this, the Torah which was hidden to you, now through your speaking it, it becomes revealed to you. So now, we'll continue. Everybody with me right now, what we're saying? Does this make sense? I'm trying to break it down very simply. Me'ir lo hadibur b'chol ha'mekomot shetzarich la'asot tshuva. So listen to what he says. Now when this person speaks these words of Torah, what happens? Then in every place which he is lacking, in every place that is separating him from Hashem, in every place that he needs to come closer to Hashem in order to experience God, that speech actually enlightens him about how to take the next step. Rav Nachman says that the speech itself, when you speak out these words of Torah, the speech itself is going to illuminate you on how to now move forward in your life in order to do tshuva, meaning aka in order to draw closer to Hashem. So Hashem built in a mechanism inside of you that when you take His Torah and you take your mouth and you speak out His Torah and you do this every day, Hashem will illuminate you. Here's the next move. Here's the next step. Here's the next piece of tshuva you have to do. Now why is this? So we explained that the Torah is, so to speak, Hashem's rebuke. And when we think of rebuke, we usually think it means like punishment or like yeah. What it really means is that in every area that a person's lacking, when a person rebukes you, what is he doing? He's saying, you're lacking this, you need to work on this, this is going to help you achieve your goal. That's rebuke. What does the word Torah mean? Instruction. What is it instructing you on? What is it instructing you on?
So how to come back to Hashem?
How to come close to Hashem. So therefore, so it's guidelines on how to come close to Hashem. But even when you're learning it, if you don't say it, it doesn't do that. It only does it when you say it.
So they're even literally, I'm supposed to talk to Hashem about the Torah I learned?
Yes.
He's going to guide me through.
Yes.
Oh, because the Hitbodedu is you talking to Hashem, and the Torah is Hashem talking to you.
Well,
there's a famous line from a Hasidic master. He says that prayer is when you talk to Hashem, and the Torah is Hashem speaking back to you. So Benjamin's putting the two together. He's saying, in Hitbodedu, if you're combining them, so it's like you're having a conversation. And you want to know something that's very, very interesting? Daniel Katz actually, when I was in Uman, was trying to prove that your Hitbodedu sessions should not be a monologue, but it should be a dialogue, that you feel that you're saying and asking and you're getting answers. And it says, it's very clear in Likutey Moharan that when Rav Natan was describing the experience of Hitbodedu, that it is a open, back and forth flowing dialogue between you and God. That you are asking and Hashem is giving you answers, and you are asking and Hashem is giving you answers.
Like that's lagged. I feel like the dialogue part, like the receiving end.
Right. So we're saying like this, that all of your answers that you need in your life are in the Torah. So how come when I go to all these classes and I'm learning Gemara and I'm learning Chassidus and I'm learning Zohar and I'm learning all these things, it's all potential. But when you speak it out, then you get the answer. Because the answer is in there, it's just not revealed to you, it's hidden for you.
Specifically, Hitbodedu to Hashem.
Yes, the Hitbodedu, because that's the place that you do it. It's not that, only Hitbodedu. If you just take the Torah right now and you talk it out, also. But
talking to a person.
Okay, so now he says like this.
When talking about Torah, you should say like, "Please help me to practice this Torah."
Exactly.
We learned that in the first Torah.
We learn it in every Torah. We learn it in every single Torah.
All the time.
It's all the same. It's all the same because it's a matter of bringing it to your heart. Like the sages say in Masechet Brachot, Kaf Bet. What are you up to?
Just 28.
Patach picha. Open your mouth. V'ya'iru divarecha. And your words are going to enlighten you. Oh, that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. The Gemara has a very interesting story in Brachot. It says there, when Shachar finally gets there, Rabbi Yehuda ben Batera had a student, he was mumbling words of Torah. And he came over to him and he said, speak it! Say it!
This is page 22?
Yeah, page 32.
32 or 22?
Oh,
It says Kaf Bet.
Oh, Kafet, sorry,
I'm
yeah.
on 28. So
Okay, so you missed it.
I didn't say anything.
I'm kidding. Just kidding. You have to say it. Open your mouth, he said. He said, open your mouth.
I gotta review it.
Yeah. Open your mouth. What does Rashi say there?
Don't read it, open your mouth.
He said that the night before he had a nocturnal emission.
Zing.
And what? This is Yud Aleph. Yeah.
Bug out, bro. You're a bug out.
And why was he mumbling? Because he was afraid to enunciate words of Torah while he was impure.
Right, because it was talking about can you learn Torah when
you're
mikvah
impure.
if you're impure, right?
But you know what's very interesting? What do we learn elsewhere?
Wait, is that some kind of halacha you can't learn unless you're pure?
If you're a Kabbalist.
Halacha l'maaseh, I mean, we're all impure.
We all do it.
Speak
We
for
all do
yourself.
it, but there is an inyan to be pure before you learn Torah.
I heard before davening. I heard.
Yeah. Also, there's also an inyan to do it when you learn
No,
Torah.
like
I-
mikvah.
I know that there was a sofer. He was writing a Torah, and he wouldn't write another letter until he dunked in the mikveh. Every single letter he had to dunk in the mikveh.
That's
That's not
So
allowed.
Hashem's name, you have to dunk. That is a
for
lot.
Hashem's name.
Yeah, but I'm saying he wasn't. I'm not saying according to halacha. I'm saying this.
No, there's a discussion in the Gemara. It's on this page.
Okay. Anyway, what did Rav Nachman say elsewhere?
The letter he put into the mikveh.
That a person
He dunked
who's wasting seed, he can't speak. He can't
Bilam.
speak. What do we say about Bilam?
He was a
It says in the Gemara that he only could mumble words. That he could only mumble words. So the simple pshat is, according to Rashi, he didn't want to say them because he was not shmirat Brit, and therefore there may be a discussion.
Why he is a Russian?
But according to Rav Nachman, you know why he was mumbling? Because he can't speak, because he wasted seed.
Wow, so you're saying all the niggas learn from that?
Hey, but what is that? What does that mean?
So Rav Nachman is going to bring later on in this Torah, and he says elsewhere that what allows a person to speak Torah, there's something in the middle here.
Wow, this connects with the Torah that we learned about the Chazan.
So one second.
That he couldn't sing.
Oh,
he couldn't
yeah.
sing because he went and
Because he had the.
What'd you say?
Wow. Torah Gimel. Torah Gimel.
Yesod. Yesod is actually what connects speech and Torah. So therefore, when a person is pagam in Yesod, and he goes to speak Torah, he can't, he mumbles. That's that Gemara. And let's say you can, so then Rav Nachman says, but that speech isn't real speech, because that speech isn't going to be heard. And the only speech that's considered real speech according to the Torah is words that are heard.
So is that why?
One second. You guys have to learn patience. I know you guys are excited, I'm also excited, but we all gotta hunker down, whatever that means, okay? Rav Nachman says that speech that is not responded to is not real speech. What does that mean? It means when you pray to Hashem, He doesn't answer you, it's because you didn't really speak to Him. Because if you really spoke to Him, He would answer you. So what do you mean? I'm talking to Him all the time. And the answer is, your speech is not called speech, because you're Pagama Brit.
So everyone that is not Pagama Brit, that's prepared to answer?
Rav Nachman says that a person who's not Pagama Brit, this is taking him a long way towards getting his prayers answered.
Is that why people go to the mikveh before they daven chakras?
It's part of it, yes.
That's not from Rabbi Nachman.
No.
That's the same teaching.
What are you gonna kill me? Okay, it's not Rabbi Nachman.
I'm just saying, it's the same teaching.
There's a lot of tzaddikim. Yes, okay, we're all talking about it's all Torah, it's all good. Not Rabbi Nachman.
So no, like you
Kill me.
You go to the mikveh before you daven. It's word.
Yeah, we should all go to the mikveh all the time. But the main mikveh is not wasting seed. That's a better mikveh than going to the mikveh. Okay.
Learning Torah.
Okay. So now listen to what he says.
Yeah, anyway.
And every single time, meaning every time he talks to Hashem words of Torah, Ayadeh called tshuva. This is tshuva on tshuva. Hu olech mi madrega l'madrega. It's going to raise him from level to level. Ash yotzei mi madrega pachuta, until he goes from a very, very low level. Uva litvuno tatorah lamka, and he's going to come to very deep Torah understanding.
Which was the spiritual law we were talking about earlier.
Patience, young grasshopper. You need a lot of patience. So now listen to what we say here. So listen to this conversation that Yochni and Mamre had with Moshe. Who are these people? They were Egyptian magicians.
Gypsies.
Yes, the Bukharians know a lot about this stuff.
That's where gypsies come from. Egyptians.
What do you guys call it? Hispandut.
Yeah.
Hispandut.
Still don't know what that
Your favorite, besides the shashlich or whatever you guys call this. The shiklich.
You put shishkula and tashlich in one sentence.
Shashlich. Shiklich.
Okay. Somebody's gonna tell me.
So what did the magicians say to Moshe? So listen. When Moshe came back to Egypt, the magicians saw Moshe. They said, "Hey Moshe, what's going on? You're back. What are you? What are you doing here?" So what did he say? They said to him, "Tevin ata machnis la'Ephraim." You're bringing straw into Ephraim. It was a city in Mitzrayim. You're bringing straw here? Why are you bringing straw here? Heshiv lahem. He said back to them, Amrei anshe, lamata yarka. People say to the vegetable market, take vegetables to sell.
Hidden Torah he was bringing.
What was he saying? This is from Gemara, Masechet Menachot. What was he saying to them? What were they saying to him? He was saying, you guys are magicians. You're saying, why would you bring magic to a place where we're experts in magic? We're already really good at this. We don't need your magic. Your magic is nothing compared to our magic. It's going to look very poor here. Go somewhere else. They don't have such magic. So he said, in a vegetable market, you bring vegetables to the market. Meaning what? I have God. That's what I'm bringing to your little magic session over here. And therefore, this is going to look great compared to you guys. Because then everybody's going to be able to compare the highest level of magic to Hashem. And you're going to see that there's no comparison. Okay? So that's the simple understanding of this Gemara. But now, Benjamin had a little hasaga before. And he said, isn't Tevuna like Tevin? And that's what Rav Nachman says. Tevin corresponds to Tevuna, meaning deep perceptions of Torah. So what were they really saying to Moshe? Why are you bringing deep perceptions of Hashem's unity to Mitzrayim, where Mitzrayim is the place of magic? This is the place of nature. This is the place where you can't pray, where Moshe had to leave Egypt because you can't pray here. Because Hashem is hidden here. Because His unity is hidden here.
That's exactly why he came back.
So that's exactly why he came back. And therefore it says here, Tavuna tin tzarech, that understanding will preserve you. Why? Because it says in Gemara Sota that when you learn Torah and you have deep Torah understanding, meaning you've internalized it, meaning you've spoken it out, that Torah then protects you. But until you speak it out, that Torah does not preserve you. Because it's only in potential. Shehem Avinu Shemoshe Rotzeh Lachnis Bitum V'Una Torah BeYisrael. He wanted to bring deep Torah understanding to Yisrael. V'Alken Shalu, and therefore it was asked to him, Ki Bizman She'en Yisrael Sima Torno Shel Makom. In this time that the Jewish people, they're not doing the Ratzon of Hashem. They're like dust. What does that mean? So the Gemara says that when a Jewish people do the Ratzon of Hashem, we're like the stars. We're untouchable. We're above the physical world. But when we don't do the Ratzon, the will of Hashem, we're like the dust, and everybody tramples over us.
That's what Hashem was saying.
So why are you bringing Moshe to these people who are like dust, meaning they're not doing anything Hashem wants them to be doing? Why are you bringing deep understanding to them? How could he bring to them this high level of Torah understanding to such people who are in such low spiritual levels? The answer is like this. He said to them, what was his first response? Amrei Anashe. Listen to the genius. People say, bring vegetables to the vegetable market. So what was his answer? The beginning of the answer was people say, meaning, because when they say this Torah, they're going to get it. When they speak the Torah out that I'm going to give to them, no matter how low they are, they're going to be able to internalize it. That's people say. You hear how he's taking this Gemara? It's very beautiful. People say, good. Then it says, meaning through saying, dibur shel Yisrael, of a Jew who me'ir lo lechol ha'mekamot tzarich la'asot tshuva. It's going to teach himself the way to do tshuva. Now, what does Rav Nachman say in the Pesach Haggadah that Breslov came out with? What was in exile in Egypt? Speech. Speech. Not just tefillah, speech. What, they didn't talk?
Oh, our language.
They didn't talk?
No, everything.
Cried out is what Hashem.
But so that was when Moshe came.
They weren't
But prior
pure.
to that, it
They
says
weren't
speech was in
pure.
exile.
They-
Speech, speech
They
was
weren't pure.
meaning that their speech wasn't speech.
So they.
1 second. What is real speech?
Only if it's heard.
And what type of speech is heard? When it's true. And what wasn't revealed to the Jewish people? Truth, the Torah. So therefore their speech wasn't speech, it was in exile.
They weren't allowed to learn Torah in Egypt.
They were slaves.
I'm saying, I don't know, they were at home.
And the Torah wasn't revealed yet.
But even just what they had from
Right, so that
Yaakov,
wasn't the level of Torah that they
Yitzchak.
needed to leave Egypt.
Because they were so immersed in deeper levels of impurity.
Tumah. They were in the
you
49th
need
gate of
deeper
Tumah.
levels of Torah to come out of deeper levels of impurity.
Yeah, so Rav Kramer says, now look very closely, something very interesting. When Hashem sent Moshe and Aaron to tell the Jewish people that they're redeemers, that they're going to come, that Hashem's coming to save them, he says, first say to the Jewish people. Meaning, teach them they have to say. And then by the time that they went to go to Paro, they already started crying and speaking to Hashem. And that was the beginning of their leaving of Egypt. You hear? So Nachman is saying, look into what happened. Hashem said, say to the Jewish people because they don't know how to say. Speak to them. Speak. As we were told, by the time they got to Paros, they were already doing Hibodadut, and they started to leave Egypt.
So the 12 tribes all died out? All
second.
the leaders of the 12 tribes died out?
Wait. Now he says to the place of vegetables, right? He says people say. So now we know the beginning of saying the Torah. Then it says in the place of vegetables, you should sell vegetables. What's the word for vegetable in Aramaic? It's yarka. What is yarka similar to the word?
Green.
To throw.
Zarka.
To throw.
Jordan.
To throw. Tshuva. So if Nachman says that yarka means he called out, like tshuva. So Abraham, it said when he was training the servants for the war that we just had with the 4 kings and the 5 kings, right? It said that he trained his servants. Okay? What does the Gemara say that he taught them? So this is hard to understand, but we'll just understand it at face value. He taught them Parshat Shoftim.
Shoftim is the bridge.
Why did he teach them Parshat Shoftim?
What?
Just wait 1 second. Why did he teach them Parshat Shoftim? Because there it says that if you're not brave, right, and you're not holding by a certain level, don't come out to war because you're not coming home. So he's trying to tell his guys, like,
guard your eyes, guard your
everything before you come with me. Otherwise, don't come with me.
Brave? Yeah, but the Torah wasn't given out. How
Is there any among you who is afraid or faint-hearted? This is what it says in Devarim. Why? Because of the Avera that they did. Meaning he was trying to...
That's a good point. How do you tell them Shoftim if Shoftim didn't happen?
That's what I just alluded to. Okay, that's for another time. But right now, in the simple understanding, he was telling them, if you've done a Avera, don't come out to war with me because we're not going to get
Any
out.
specific Avera?
Yeah.
1 second. Yes, you're going to see in a second. Meaning, V'zehu Amre Anashe. People say, meaning, through saying the speech of the Jewish people, Lamata Yarka, they're going to come to do tshuva. This is what he was saying to them. Speech directs him to do tshuva. And it's going to enlighten him in such a way that the tshuva is going to be completely commensurate with the avera that he's done in the past. Meaning it's the exact tshuva that you need is in your mouth. Want to know something's amazing? It says in Devarim, Moshe, the very famous line, Hashem said to the Jewish people were like, wow, this Torah is ridiculous. This Torah is ridiculous. How am I going to hold by this whole Torah? So Moshe says to them, this is not in heaven. This is not very far from you. This is very, very near to you.
Not across the sea.
It's in your hands, your head, your heart to do this. You can do this. It's very near to you. So what do all of the commentators say Moshe was talking about? Tshuva. It's right with you to do this. You can do this. It's right near you. It's not in Shemayim. Meaning what? It's in your mouth.
Oh, the whole Tanya is based on that pasuk, right?
Yes. Yes. So now listen to how deep this goes. However, to speak in a way that it illuminates you, right? So we're saying that, okay, so everybody follow with me. Everybody look at me. Everybody, don't look in the camera. It's like the concerts I used to go to when I used to watch the video screens instead of the... Don't do that.
Everybody does that.
Okay.
No one could see the guy in the front.
Just follow me. We're saying like this. The Torah is the key to your redemption. The Torah is the key to everything because it's the truth. Okay? However, the truth exists only in potential until you speak it out. When you speak out the truth, when you speak out the Torah itself guides you back to wherever you need to go. Okay, good. However, how do you obtain this level? Is it something I can just go out to the field and just start doing? Or could it be that I say these words of Torah, but it doesn't have that effect on me? So he says like this, to speak in a way that it illuminates you. To merit this, ki im al yadei kavod. You first need to attain the state of kavod. Hayenu meaning kavod Hashem yiparach b'shleimut, meaning that you must obtain first complete, total, utter kavod for Hashem, honor for Hashem. So we'll see what this means. Kavod for Hashem. Shiyu kavodo la'ayin neged kavod Hashem yiparach, meaning that one's own kavod, one's own sense of self, one's own glory should be non-existent in relationship to Hashem. So that when you come to talk to Hashem, it is as if you do not exist. Only in that place does that Torah guide you back home.
So
wait 1 second.
If a person says, I want something, is he basically putting his ego in the way of talking to Hashem?
No.
You just said that there should be a kavod.
Right, so we have to understand what this kavod is. We're going to see in a second, okay?
Say that one more time.
Not for now.
Okay. So he says like this. What does it mean to have kavod for Hashem? It means that you have no kavod.
What?
You have no kavod. How do you have kavod for Hashem when you don't have any?
It says in Sefer Shmuel, who is honored, one who honors God. And also someone who's the most humblest person is the one who's honored the most, even though he doesn't want the honor.
Right. So that's called kavod Hashem. That's called kavod Hashem. Meaning what? I'm not doing something in order to increase my esteem, in order to impress people, right? That's on a very basic level. But then on a very deep level, I know deeply in my heart and soul that everything that I have, that everything that I am, is really whatever God gave me. And therefore, when I come to pray, I'm coming to pray with that understanding, so that I could thank Him according to that understanding, so that I could ask for Him according to that understanding. I have nothing of my own. Everything is Hashem's. I am not anything. When you come and you pray like that, then the words of Torah illuminate you. But we're going to see in a moment that when you don't come to Hashem in this place, that your kavod of Hashem is shleimus, is complete, there's something that not only does the prayers or the words not illuminate you, but you're going to see the opposite even happens. Okay, so we're going to see in a second. 1 second. So how do you have this kavod? Where does this kavod come from? How do you practically experience this kavod of Hashem? Hayenu ayadei anava v'katnut. Katnut. Through humility and smallness. Through making yourself very small.
I'm good with that.
Through anava, through humility. Okay. Humility and smallness. Okay. Ki kar bechinat adibor, because the essence of speech is kavod. So when Rav Nachman says, what's the type of speech that's answered? Only when speech is real speech, and real speech is only real speech when it has kavod. And which kavod? The kavod of Hashem.
You can only speak when you're bittul.
Yeah.
And if you're not bittul, it's not real speech.
You're right. Speech can only come from a place of nullification. What?
Yeah, that's true.
Speak louder.
You sure you doubt my cousin Stalin?
One at a time, because I do not have 5 years. Yes.
Oh,
How do we
thought you
go
meant
through
that.
his body? Is that from our state of mind most of the time?
That is a state of mind most of the
It
time.
doesn't need to be your state of mind. The Hibodadud is going to do that to you. The Hibodadud does it to you.
So right after you daven his body, that's how you are?
The Rav Nachman teaches elsewhere that the Hibodadud itself puts you into a state of bitul. It nullifies yourself.
Is that what I feel when after his body?
Yeah, that's why you feel good.
And also you said I don't have any
During, not
titles.
just after.
That's because you're in a state of bitul.
Bitso means I don't have any titles.
Because you have no ego.
Because Taiva comes from Gaiva?
Yeah.
Taiva comes from Gaiva.
Yeah.
That's why it rhymes. Taiva, Gaiva, get it?
The mad rapper. Okay.
And it's going to come up in a second. So everybody, just
Feeling it is good, feeling bitul is good.
bitul is the best. The
Bitul
Baal
is
Shem,
boring.
the Baal Shem,
Bitul is-
the Baal Shem Tov, who really revealed the Torah of Mashiach. He has two main concepts which you have to hold by. Otherwise, you're not a chassid.
Yes.
No. Definitely not. Definitely not. And if you're spending 15 minutes in front of the mirror after you go to the mikveh for twirling them,
What's a mirror?
With the comb, right?
so also I don't think so. Okay. Devekut and bitul. Devekut and bitul.
Clinging to Hashem and Bittul
Nullification. And they really are.
What is the
They're
first
the
one?
same thing, though.
No,
Moshe
The
Rabbeinu was
come
what is-
together.
not
Devekut
Bittul, he
is
was Anav.
I need everybody not to all talk at the same time.
Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't Bittul, he was Anav.
It's one thing.
It's the same thing?
Yeah.
Is that Chassidus or?
No, this is just Torah.
That's called Yiddishkeit. 101.
It's called Yiddishkeit. Okay? So it says like this. Ki ikar bechinat adibur hiu mikavod, because the essence of speech comes from kavod. Kamosha katuv, like it says, Mi hu zeh melech hakavod. Like we say in Tehillim, who is he? This is the king of kavod. And what is malchut? The Zohar says it's your mouth. Meaning, who is the king of kavod? Speech is kavod. Speech and kavod are one.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Malchus was David, right?
Yes.
So he was covered.
But he said, I am less than a worm. He had no sense of self. He he nullified himself. And because he nullified himself, he had the greatest, most intense relationship with Hashem.
You know why did he say worm, though?
Lower than a worm. Because a worm is a metaphor for the lowest creature in the
But
world.
he said it.
I know, okay. I know, you have your own chiddush, okay? But we're going to wait on your chiddush. So now 1 second. So listen to what he says here. Ki Torah ba'ala toch diborim pegumim. But what happens when the words of Torah come into our mouth that's pagum, that's blemished? Lafeh pagum, into a mouth that's blemished. Lo dai she'en dibori Torah mirum lo. Not only do these words not illuminate him on how to do tshuva, ki im gam Torah atzma nitkashem v'nitchadesh sham mipiv.
What does that even mean?
But that the words of Torah become corporal. They become concretized. They become physical. They become dense. They become tangible in his mouth. So what is this talking about?
What? Can you repeat it?
What does that even mean?
What does that mean? Okay. Torah is spiritual. It's not physical. The words of Torah are transcending existence. They are not physical. So therefore, speech is also not physical. It's not physical. But when a person, his mouth is blemished, which we're going to learn in a second what that means, so then these words that are spiritual become physical.
Example.
And when they become physical, then they don't guide you closer to Hashem.
What's an example?
We're going to see in a second.
But the contrary could be also true.
The what?
Is it or not?
What's that?
If you're kosher, I mean, if you're
impure, then the Torah
if you're pure, also the Torah will become physical for you.
No, yeah, so we're saying that it becomes real for you, not physical though. But Nachman says in many places, you don't want the Torah to become geshem. You don't want the Torah to become choshech, dark. You want it to be light. So he's saying that what happens is when you take Torah, which is light, and you stick it into a mouth that's pagum, it becomes dark.
Why is it saying?
So wait a second, 1 second. And we're going to see what this means in a second. 1 second. Kamosha Katuv. There's a very famous pasuk in Yeshua, when Yeshua became the leader. Lo yamush sefer Torah zeh mipicha. Do not let the words of this Torah depart from your mouth. Yamush. Rav Nachman says, there's another pasuk where the word yamush is used differently. V'yamesh choshech. When the Jewish people were leaving Egypt in complete darkness, where Rashi explains there that the darkness was not just dark, like when you go outside and it's pitch black, but that the darkness, you can actually feel the darkness. It's tangible. You can feel it. You can feel it like
Well, what are the plagues?
it was one of the plagues, yeah. But the plague of darkness, it was not just dark, you couldn't see, it was tangible. It was the darkness was an entity of itself. They couldn't move because the darkness was so thick.
Rashi says that someone who was standing could not sit, and someone who was sitting could not stand.
They couldn't move because the darkness was so thick.
They said Rambam says.
Okay, wait. I don't need all the pashatim in the Torah. Just 1 second. Dude. Hold on. Meaning that these words become yamash in your mouth. They become tangible in your mouth. In other words, Hayenu shelo yikashmu v'yitchashu mipicha. These words become tangible in your mouth. Ki al yedei she'ein mashkichin sheyeh kavod Hashem yiparach b'shleimut. Because when a person, okay, take it easy. When a person is not shleimut in his kavod of Hashem, meaning he's not completely humble, hayenu al yedei galut, meaning that he's arrogant or he has ego, al yedei zeh, through this, ein yecholin liftoch peh, he's not able to open his mouth. You ever notice that when you come out to talk to Hashem, you're not able to? The reason is gaiva. What do you mean? I have gaiva, that's why I can't speak to Hashem?
Trying to go to the field to talk to Hashem. How is that not gaiva? That's like giving up, like myself, to go out. I'm
Right.
taking this time now to dedicate.
Okay, good. So we're gonna see.
How's that gaiva?
So we're gonna.
No, I'm not questioning.
No, you're good. You're good. I like.
rhetorical.
No, you're good.
Just the question itself comes from Gaiva. I mean, who am I to go? Obviously, who the hell are you?
You heard
to
it
begin
wrong.
with?
You heard it wrong.
Okay, just wait. You're gonna see. You're gonna see that gaiva is connected to another quality, which you would not think is connected to it, and that's the result. This is the gaiva. So 1 second. Like it says, Sagru Pimo. It says this in Tehillim. David HaMelech says, Sagru Pimo, Dibru Begeut. Their mouth closed up because they spoke haughtily. Meaning he's saying that whenever you're arrogant, your mouth closes up and your speech is not real speech anymore. It doesn't get answered. Arrogance. Okay? It says, Kamase de Levi Bar Sisa. There was a very big tzaddik. His name was Levi Bar Sisa. They called him up to the bima. V'tafach rucho alav, and because he got called up, he felt very good about himself. And when he got up there, v'lo anivun, he wasn't able to speak.
Just like the singer.
Also, on a very simple psychological level, what causes a person to be not able to speak when he's in public? Why does a person have fear or he's nervous?
He doesn't believe in himself.
And what does that mean?
That you don't believe in Hashem.
Yes.
What does it mean that he doesn't believe in himself?
Because there's a concept called self.
Because there's a concept of self.
But you told us that if you...
Wait! I know. I know what you're going to say, but that's not what I'm saying right now. Why is he nervous? Because he's looking at himself as separate, as distinct, as a self in and of itself.
And therefore no one can relate to it.
No, and therefore now I'm nervous. So where's your nervousness coming from that you can't speak? It's from your ego. It's from your ego. You think it's from your low self-esteem, but your low self-esteem is coming from your connection to your ego. I think that I exist in and of myself. That's why you're nervous. If you realize that you're nothing, you wouldn't be nervous.
Or if you realize everyone's wearing underwear.
Okay. It reminds me of the Friends episodes, you know, like when they make the joke and every time they press the machine and then everybody starts laughing. It's like Benjamin on every joke. As a result of arrogance, now why should it be that arrogance causes your words not to get heard? I mean, we're human beings. Because arrogance is keneged avodah zarah, and avodah zarah is the opposite of emunah.
And that's why I said you can't pray in Egypt.
Like it says, Pasile Elohechem tisrafun be'esh. Now listen to this. It says, your gods, those gods, the images of their gods, they're destroyed by fire. So we learn out a halacha from this. You have a shofar that was used. You have a shofar that was used for avodah zarah. Now, can I use this shofar? Can I use this shofar?
No, it's absurd.
No, it's a tray for shofar. And what do you have to do with it?
Burn it.
You need to burn it in a fire. But what's the halacha? That anything that is destined for fire, it's considered as if it's already burnt in the fire.
Then
That means that it has the halachic status of already being burnt, even though it hasn't yet been thrown in the fire, because we know it has to be thrown in the fire.
What? It doesn't make sense.
You got me.
That's the thing that doesn't make sense to you.
Like this. I have a shofar. You're saying to yourself, can I use this, can I not use this? That's not even a question. You can't use it because that shofar doesn't even exist.
Okay.
Why? Because it's bound to be thrown into a fire because it was used for avodah zarah. So therefore, because legally it has to be thrown into fire eventually, that's its destiny. It's as if it's already been done.
But it still has to be thrown in.
It still has to be thrown in, but you look at it as if it's already been thrown in the fire, and therefore you can't use it.
And you can't leave it around until...
And therefore you can't use it. So now what are we learning from this? But we're saying that someone who has arrogance is connected someone who is invested in Avodah Zarah. So therefore, he is destined for fire.
Yeah.
And therefore, since he's destined for fire, it's as if he's already been thrown in there.
Wow.
Meaning what?
Fire.
Meaning what? Meaning what? Your words can't be heard because that speech that's coming out of your mouth isn't speech. It's already been thrown into a fire and
It's so
disintegrated.
interesting because Avram himself was thrown into fire. And
So-
he was doing everything Hashem was telling him to do.
But he wasn't burnt.
No, that's for sure. But he was still thrown.
And why
in the
wasn't he
eyes of the
burnt?
people.
Because I'm but
'Cause he was
dust and
already fired.
because I'm but dust and ashes. I'm
If you
I'm
put fire in
humble
fire,
because
it's
he was
still fire.
because he was humble. Because he was humble.
Not only was he not burned, he was
Sheki b'vakasha. However, when a person is careful and he makes certain that Hashem's kavod is complete, like David HaMelech says, Shu nivzeh be'enav nimas, he thinks of himself as nothing. Ayadeh ze yuchal ledaber diborim ha'me'arim. Then he's able to speak in a way that his words enlighten him. Meaning the only way that this thing works, this mechanism for being able to always know what's my next step, what am I supposed to do now, we're saying that you can do this simply by taking your Torah and turning it into Tefillah. But that only works if you're humble. And that's why it says in the Pasuk, Ha'aretz ha'irek b'chvodo, that the earth shone with his glory, and the earth, ha'aretz, is always a code word for speech. Meaning the speech shone with his kavod. His words enlighten him to tshuva, and he can then come to deep Torah perception. Okay? I want to start the next piece because it's unbelievable, and we're going to allude into and to draw into what's coming tomorrow night. So listen to what we're going to say now. It is gewaldig, it is geschmack. Okay, listen. V'chavod b'shleimut. Listen, don't leave. He wouldn't want you to leave. When is kavod complete? When is kavod complete? Listen to this. Enokim ayadei vav she'amshich letocha. Only when the word kavod has a vav drawn down into it, because you could spell kavod without a vav, and it's called kavad. Ki below vav nishar kavad peh. Because when there's no vav in the word kavod, then the word is kavad, which means heavy. What did Moshe Rabbeinu say? I don't want to be the redeemer. I can't do it because I have a heavy mouth, meaning I can't speak. Why couldn't he speak? Because there was no vav in kavod, so he had a heavy mouth. Meaning, when a person doesn't have kavod for Hashem, he can't speak.
When was that?
When Hashem said to Moshe, I want you to be the Redeemer. He didn't believe in himself because he didn't think he had nullified himself completely to Hashem. So he said, I have a heavy mouth, I can't speak. Wait, listen to what we're saying. It's amazing. The vav, when you draw the vav into your heavy mouth, then you have kavod.
Isn't the Torah compared to the vav?
Yes. And the bris. But with the vav, then he's in the aspect like David HaMelech said, kavod v'lo yidom. I have kavod for Hashem v'lo yidom, and therefore I'm not silent. Meaning, why aren't I silent anymore? Because I can now speak. Why can I speak? Because I have kavod for Hashem. Why do I have kavod for Hashem? Because I've inserted the vav into the word. Now, what is the vav? So you only use the vav to add. Right? Benjamin ve David and David. It's only used to add. Meaning what? Ayenu bechina tosfot kedusha. Only when you want to add kedusha do you add the letter vav. Ayenu shmirat habrit. And there is no kedusha that's not shmirat habrit.
There's no kedusha that's not shmirat habrit?
That's right, my friend.
Shmirat habrit and kedusha are one concept. So therefore, what is the vav that's in kavod? It's your brit. Literally. That's why it's shaped like a stick. or a branch, depending on who you are.
What's the kavod that's in the
So like this.
brit? Nah, you don't need to draw it.
No, I want to draw it.
Don't draw it.
I want to draw it. You can't stop me.
Wait,
One
I
second.
gotta
Don't do it. There's
It's okay.
witnesses.
What's the kavod in
There's
the What's the
witnesses.
kavod in the brit? Okay. I understand.
Wait.
Let's see.
Ooh, careful.
You right now, all of us, we have kavad, which is heaviness of our mouth, meaning our speech is not being heard. That's why our prayers are not being answered. Okay?
Yeah.
What?
We all have that.
No, I'm saying, or your prayers are being answered, but whatever it is. What allows the prayers to then be answered? What allows your speech to become real speech that's heard?
The vav.
The vav. You need the vav because then you have kavod, because you only can have speech that's heard when there's kavod. Kavod for who? For Hashem. And what does the vav come to do? It comes to add. What is the vav coming to add? Always kedusha, because the vav says the
Adds the
Zohar.
nukva.
So the vav says the Zohar is the concept of truth. It's the letter of truth.
What is red?
It's the letter of truth, says the Zohar. Say what one more time.
Yeah, what?
One more time.
What?
What? Listen and you'll hear
Does
it.
he look like a?
Okay, the vav.
Simcha.
The vav is the letter of truth. It's okay. And what is this vav? It's your brit. When your brit is whole and you're not wasting seed, because when you waste seed, then you're kavad, you're heavy of mouth. But when you're smeared the brit, heavy. Kaved,
This is a
heavy.
very serious question.
Wait, just wait. Every
Right
question,
on the
okay,
money.
doesn't mean. You have to wait.
Okay.
Kavod. Like this, how do we know that when, like, kedusha has to do with the brit? How do we know that it's always the brit has to do with kedusha? Why can't I have kedusha some other way? So the Vayikra Rabbah is a very famous saying. Kol makom shata motzeh geder erva. In every place that you find offense for erva, for sexual immorality, atam motzeh kedusha. There you're going to find kedusha. Meaning, in every place that there's shmirat brit, there you'll find kedusha. So that means the more shmirat brit, the more kedusha is revealed. Why is that? Because Yesod is the holder of kedusha.
It adds the vav, which is nukva.
This is the reason why Yosef's name was Yosef, because he is the gatherer of kedusha. Yosef means to gather. What is he gathering? Kedusha. How is he gathering this kedusha? Shmirat brit. And then he becomes the master of Egypt, and all of his words are heard. So now we can understand. What do we say in the beginning of the class? And then we'll continue tomorrow. What do we say in the beginning of the class? We need to speak out. We need to speak out our Torah. Nukva and Zer Enpin. But we said that there's something that's in between that brings those two together.
Oh man.
Tefillah.
Circle.
Unity, which is Yesod, which is the gatherer. And what gathers and brings together unity and Kodesh? The bread. We'll continue tomorrow night. Chazak Baruch.
All letters are in that area.
Amen.
Explain to me after.
Amen. Yehi Shemir Rabban Vavrali Al Mil El Mayal Maya Yirarach.